Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always a pleasure to be joined by Johnny Nelson. Johnny, we've got a quick reaction to obviously Billum Smith and React Pro the other night. We're rolling into another build-up to a stadium fight. Callum Simpson, Yorkshire boy, brings the fans out. It's just a little sort of launch party here tonight. How excited are you for this night coming up at Oakwell? It's nice to see, especially this neck of the woods.
I'm very excited. I love seeing, the growth of a local star in Yorkshire. We've got Dalton Smith. Dalton Smith, he's going in the right direction. Callum Smith, now here in Barnsley, giving the Barnsley fans someone to support, someone to follow, someone to get passionate around. Remember, there's about 150 people here. Listen to that noise. That's 150. Can you imagine what it'd be like when there's 7,000 plus? And when you see that kind of support, it lifts you. When people come from abroad and they see that kind of support, it's intimidating. And I think Callum, if he wins, he'll be like a mini Rigetten that the fans he has following him.
Well, let's talk about the actual fight. Zak Chelli, look, no mug, been around a while. He's obviously picked up that British title now, and you'd say he's probably maybe at his peak of his powers. So Callum's getting him at a time where he's not over the hill. He's an experienced guy who can, cause you a lot of problems if you're not at the races, and he can cause an upset. But how confident are you that Callum could go in there against a guy like Zak and do the business?
I'm not. It's going to be a tough fight for him. It's going to be a really tough fight. Callum's got to show an area of his professional career that we've not seen before, because Zak Chelli's tough. Zak Chelli will not leave you alone. He's no pushover, and so Callum's got to box. He's got to fight. He's got to be fit. He's got to dig deeper than he'll ever dig before, because Zak Chelli will ask all those questions, regardless of if you think he's reached his ceiling. Zak Chelli's at this level is an amazing gatekeeper to get through. So until you get through that gatekeeper, then you can say, well, you've reached your ceiling, because trust me, it's tough.
100%. Look, over the weekend, apart from the fight that we were at, there were a couple of the fights that were on. I want to start with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. This guy is a real deal. I mean, that left hand that took Frank Martin out. By the way, an undefeated Frank Martin, who was an exceptional fighter, was winning rounds. But Gervonta, as well as this power, I spoke to Gareth Davis earlier about it, he's very methodical in what he's doing. He will break you down, and then eventually, when he has his opportunity, he doesn't wait, he takes it. What do you make of him?
You know what, you look at the knockout, and then just rewind and look at him warming up in the dressing room. It was exactly the same shot. And you know what, I think Gervonta Davis is they've got him at number 7 in the pound for pound list, and that's always subjective. And you're talking Huxley fight, Stevenson,
Loma.
Lomachenko. I think if he did something like to a Lomachenko, if that didn't catapult him into the top 3, nothing will. And there's nothing says, the way he's methodical, he plans, he picks, and eventually breaks down an opponent. This guy's he's on it.
Well, that's the talk, apparently, that the Vasyl Lomachenko fight is in the works. Even one of their coaches has come out and said on Instagram, phase 1 for the Vasyl Lomachenko planning. Vasyl proved in his last fight, look, there's still a lot left. I know people write him off, but he's still an exceptional fighter. He's a world champion. How exciting would that fight be in terms of a build-up? And there's a lot to think about in that fight, because we'll see really who is the man.
That's what I'm saying. That's a wicked fight, and that's what I'm saying. So at this level, you've got a name, an established fighter like Lomachenko, even against Davis. Come on, there's no arguing. As I said, it's subjective, but come on.
Just picking this back up with Johnny Nelson. Look, we're speaking about Tank Davis. There's so many other good fights to see though as well that surrounded him. So Devon's to come back. Ryan Garcia wanted the rematch. I know he's going through his own thing at the minute, but it's exciting times for boxing around them divisions.
It is, and that's what I'm saying. These fights are very possible to be made. As Ryan Garcia is probably in the same position as Conor Benn. He's got to sort his business out first before he can come to the race, and there's work there for them. There's fights there for them, but he's got to get that stuff done, do it properly.
There's a lot of things happening in boxing. We see Tyson Fury return to social media, and there was a video leaked to him. I don't want to harp on about that too much. I think everyone sort of said the piece on it and whatever. He's had a night out, so what. But back in the gym, hitting the bag, a little bit of a war cry to say, look, never come back from a loss before. It's time to roll. Looking forward to December 21st, seeing the second fight. It makes this fight even bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't. I've made my thoughts on how I think that will transpire, so there's no point in me going over it. So say, for instance, it did happen. Say, for instance, the fight did go ahead. How would the fight turn out? If Tyson Fury hasn't changed anything, and he goes back in there and gets himself in the same condition again, and the team's exactly the same, nothing's changed, the result's going to be the same, if not worse. There's fundamental things that have to be changed in the camp, which I harped about before the fight, and that manifested itself in the ring. So and if he doesn't change those, the result will be the same. If the fight did take place.
What would you change? We haven't spoke about this directly. What would you change? Is it the amount of people? I know there were a lot of people talking about voices in the corner, but he's had that before when he's won, I suppose. So people go, well, it's worked when he's won. It's only getting picked when he's lost. But what would you, from the outside looking in, say you'd think he would need to change?
A house cleaning. You can't be, if you want success, and it's very hard when you're a multi-millionaire. And you've got people that are, I'm not saying he's doing this, you've got people that are getting paid for tiny shoelaces. You know, if people around there, if you're surrounded by people that are getting paid handsomely and they're living off your coat strings, they're going to want to keep their job because it's a great ride. So you need to clean your house out and get rid of the bullshitters, get rid of the hangers-on, make sure everybody there has a job and they do their job correctly. You need to be in a position where you aren't calling the shots. You want somebody to bring you on, because if you're constantly having people telling you you're great, yes, no, yes, and telling you what you want to hear, your learning and your development stops. So remember, these are the things that I was harping on about before the fight. If he doesn't change these things, nothing will change. You can get away with it with certain fighters. You clearly can't get away with it with Usyk. And he's fighting the same guy again. So he's got to sort his shit out.
Well, look, it's going to be interesting. Johnny, look, I know you've done a lot of interviews. I appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time, and I'll let you get off. I appreciate it.
Thank you.